Friday, November 25th, 2022, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today, we're going to look at Ghana. Yes, they lost their first match in the Football World Cup yesterday to Portugal. And I'm sure the people in that country are not very happy. And that's the big news there. But I would say an even more important headline or news that came out yesterday for Ghana is that their vice president said that Ghana will start buying oil and gold. And why is that significant? Well, we're going to look at that today. Ghana, of course, is the biggest gold producer in Africa. And I think it's going to set an example for a lot of other emerging market or global South countries. Before I start, I'd just like to go through one of the headlines here in the UK. It's not getting better. I spoke about this a few days ago about how rising prices are causing workers to demand higher pay, and a lot of them are going on strike. Of course, we're going to have the RMT strike in the run up to Christmas and after the new year. Now we're seeing that NHS nurses are going to go on strike from the 15th to the 20th of December. And this article here says that they're actually demanding a 15.1% increase in their wages because 10.1 is not enough. And 10.1, of course, is what the government is used to calculate their pay rise. It's the CPI from September. So it shows that the CPI is not a good indicator of the rising cost of living. So before I start, I'd like to say that the three sponsors for this video are precious metals dealers. Yes, I tell my viewers to do their homework, but I do have an affiliation with these three. Two of them are in North America. Miles Franklin. You can get the details below in the description of how to get in touch with them. And I'm also affiliated with ITM Trading. You can contact them as well and talk to Lynette Zhang's team. The details are in the description. And of course, in the UK, we are affiliated with Gold Investments, Oliver and Simon Temple. My promo code with them is Maneco64. And as I said, all the details are below in the description. So back to Ghana and its decision to buy oil and gold. So this is the story that came out yesterday. I'm going to share it with you guys. So here it is. It came out on Reuters. I've got it under archive.ph because Reuters, there's a paywall. So Ghana working on plan to buy oil with gold rather than dollars. So we're going to see why they're doing this. Ghana's government is working on a new policy regime where gold will be used to buy oil products rather than US dollar reserves. Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia said on Facebook on Thursday, the move is meant to tackle dwindling foreign exchange reserves coupled with demand for foreign exchange by oil importers, which is weakening the local cedi, that's their currency, increasing living costs. If implemented as envisioned, the new policy will fundamentally change our balance of payments and significantly reduce the persistent depreciation of our currency, Bawumia said. So that's very interesting because who's been accepting payments for their commodities in gold and also their own currency? Well, it's Russia. And I would say that Ghana, gold is a very appropriate currency or money to use. And I use that term because gold is money, of course, as many of us know. So let's have a look. Ghana produces 140 metric tons of gold a year. That's with at current prices, that's just under $8 billion. So keep that in mind. And I'm not sure how the government there is planning to get the gold reserves. They probably might have a royalty with the companies that mine for gold. they could, yeah, some kind of tax, and they get paid in gold. But as you can see, it's the biggest gold producer in Africa. It's bigger than even South Africa now. And it's well, it's the sixth biggest gold producer in the world. So why not use gold to help stabilize its currency? And I have to say, we'll have to see what happens to Ghana in the coming months, to its leaders, because there's someone else in Africa who tried this, to implement a gold currency. And that was Muammar Gaddafi. I know that this is not going as far as Gaddafi, but I think it's significant. Some people will say, well, Ghana is not such an important country. But I think the most important thing here is that it gives other countries, it leads other countries. It gives the other countries an example of what they could do to help themselves. So here's where Ghana is, West Africa. And if we look a little bit at Ghana, it's 32 million people. Its GDP is 226 billion, and its per capita GDP isn't that high. So Ghana has a long way to go, of course, to develop. And this is the interesting part here. If we scroll down, so you see gold is its biggest natural resource. Biggest export is gold. So why not pay for its oil in gold? And it does export crude oil, petroleum, as you can see, but it has a deficit. And this is what the deficit, and we're going to look at the deficit now of Ghana in the last few years. And we're going to share that with you too. As you can see, since the crisis in 2020, the Ghana current account deficit is getting worse. So it's like a billion dollars there. And is this I think this is let's see. Yeah, this is a quarterly one. So they're running a pretty big deficit. I would say probably around 3 billion a year, and a current account deficit. So if they can get some of that gold, it will stop the flow of their foreign reserves, or it will stop them having to sell their currency to buy dollars, and they can just pay for it with gold for their oil, and it will improve their current account deficit. So I wanted to show you the Ghana currency, how it's done over the last few years, especially since 2020. And this is the reason why they're looking to do that. There you go. So you see, and it started pretty much this year, I guess, with the rising oil prices. So if they can use the gold, it will mean that they won't have to depreciate their currency as much. And I think Russia did that too. Since the beginning of the year, we saw their currency really crash in February, but now it's really stabilized. So I think it will be a good thing for other countries to do. You don't need to use the dollar. You can use gold. And gold has been around a lot longer than the dollar, and it's taken as payment, or it's actually final payment. And people and nations take it anywhere around the world. So yeah, some people will say Ghana is not important, as I said, but I think it's the example it gives. I wonder whether Ghana is looking to join the BRICS. I wouldn't be surprised. Who do they buy their oil from? Probably Russia, maybe even Saudi Arabia, who knows? And I'm sure those countries would be happy to be paid in gold. So I think what this really signifies, not just the fact that Ghana wants to improve its balance of payments and keep its currency stable. It shows that people are waking up to the fact that the United States government can abuse its power and create currency out of thin air, and that disrupts the whole world trade situation. I mean, President Putin spoke about that in June this year at the SPIEF conference. He said that the United States and the West, they just create currency out of thin air, mythical values, and they buy commodities from other parts of the world, and they disrupt. They create inflation, of course, rising prices, and they hurt other countries because they have to depreciate their currencies to get those depreciated dollars as well, and other currencies to buy things abroad. So why not use a resource, a commodity that is money and has been for thousands of years, and that can't be manipulated, really. The amount of gold out there, it can't be created out of thin air, and it's also apolitical. It's a neutral monetary asset. So I think that's good news. What's that going to do to the price of gold in the immediate future? Well, it's very difficult to say, of course, but we need to think more in the long term. I think this is very positive, and we shouldn't really think of it as the price of gold benefiting, but the fact that the world is going back to more of a sound monetary footing. So with that, let's quickly look at where the markets are. Yes, the markets are trading. They traded yesterday, and they're trading today. I think the US is back. The markets are open again today. It's probably going to be fairly quiet, though. Right now, it's 8:20 a.m. London time. We've got spot gold at 1752.50. It's down just under $3. The low has been just below 50. The high has been 61. Silver is getting a little bit of a hit here this morning. It's down just under 1% at 21.28. It's down 20 cents. High's been 57. Low has been 21.21. To the stock market, to the Dow futures, that's down 23 points. NASDAQ 100 is down 24. The S&P is down 3 points, so fairly quiet, the stock markets. To the currencies, yesterday we saw the pound and the euro continue to trade higher. Right now, they're pretty steady. There's really nothing to write home about this morning in terms of the currency, except to say that yesterday we saw a big drop in the dollar versus the yen, as you can see here on the daily chart. And we saw as well that Japan is divesting of its treasury holdings, as you can see from Tavi Costa. He reported on that the other day. In terms of the general commodities, we've got WTI crude up 0.7% at 78.60. We got Brent up 0.5% at 85.80. High-grade copper is up 1/3% at 365. U.S. nat gas is down 2% at 744. Let's check the Dutch TTF nat gas futures. That's up about 0.5%, and it's trading at 125. And to finish off, let's quickly look at the Treasury market. We've got the 10-year yield down 4 basis points at 367. The 2-year is down 4 as well at 444. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. And with that, I wish you all a great rest of the Thanksgiving weekend if you're in the U.S., and for the rest of the people out there, a very good weekend as well. Take care. Bye.